Smart the Mentor here, back with another video. All right, the great purge is upon us. The trucking recession, the trucking crash, the great purge. It's being coined many different things. No matter what you want to call it, it's not good. It's not a good time for the trucking industry, whether you're box trucking, semi-trucking. However, if you are a small carrier, small fleet carrier, or a owner operator, it is not a good time. Spot market rates are below cost. Fuel is about 44% higher than it was this time last year, and labor and parts for your trucks for repair are very expensive and very high due to the current inflation that's going on across the country. All right, so who's going to survive this? All right, this is a question I get asked a lot. Who's going to survive what's going on right now? And the answer is pretty simple. The owner operator that has been able to operate their box truck business, their trucking business, whatever, that was operating efficiently when times were good and has always maintained a good business model should survive the storm that's upon us, that we're entering into. That's going to get worse. This is something that we always talk about on this channel. Since the channel's inception, I've always been promoting, keeping, your overhead low. I've always talked about margins. I've always promoted, don't go out and buy a really expensive truck because margins in this industry are very, very small. And, all of that is a testament to, just like I always say, experience and, preparing for what's to come, because there's always going to be a storm. So, which alludes back to what I'm saying, a person who operates with that type of mindset of efficiency when things are good is going to be able to withstand when times are bad. What we're seeing right now is a correction. All right. Some people look at corrections as being healthy. Either way, this was going to happen and had to happen. Some of the things that have been occurring within the past year and a half in trucking just weren't normal, and things couldn't, continue to go on that way. Some of the things that are happening now, I feel like shouldn't be happening, but it is what it is. In any business, you're going to see storms, and you have to prepare yourself for the storm. So a person who operates their trucking business when times are good efficiently is going to be able to withstand when things are bad. And you have to have the mindset of preparing for the bad times. I feel that, a person that's in this industry now, box trucking, this is a good time to maybe go back to the drawing board. If you did enter, and I say this all the time, I further have to keep reiterating myself so that the message gets out to as many people as possible. If you entered in a time earlier this year, last year, where the market, the industry was just, doing exceptionally well, and you didn't exercise the proper amount of due diligence, and your overhead costs is extremely high, your margins are getting tighter and tighter and tighter as rates continue to go down. You have to come up with a plan, and you have to execute that plan. All right. If you're struggling, it's only going to get worse. So what I would do if I were a person who's just trying to hang in there right now, just trying to hang in there and just at least meet cost, set a plan and also set a date. All right. Set a date as far as, if things don't turn around by this time, look at your money, look at your cushion of money that you have. If you have a cushion, say, look, I don't want to drain the well. I'm going to set this date. If things don't turn around by February 1st, if I'm not operating in the black by February 1st, I need to halt operations. I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to reconfigure some things, and I either need to start over with a better business plan, or I need to look into something else. Because if you continue to operate without a plan, without a date, you're just going to drain, and then you're just not going to have anything, and you're going to be out here bad. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's good to take a step back. All right, person who entered properly, if they entered within the past 2 years and they've been operating efficiently, they're going to be able to withstand this. I wholeheartedly believe a person who entered correctly, meaning they didn't accept a high truck rental, all right? They didn't go out and buy a box truck that was 80 grand, that was really 30 grand, all right? They listened to my videos. If they were paying Progressive high, and then they said, you know what, Mark said, go get a broker, I'm going to go get a broker and see if I can get some cheaper insurance. And they went out and did that, and they found cheaper insurance. You know, you have to keep your cost very, very low. This is an industry where there's a lot of variables that are beyond your control. So the things that you can control, and the people that entered efficiently, and the things that they could control, that they kept them low, are the people that are going to withstand. What you can control is how much you pay for a truck rental, or how much you pay monthly for your truck. All right, because guess what? If you go to a place and they give you a high rate, it's your prerogative. It's up to you if you want to accept it or not. You don't have to accept certain things. All right. So if you do your due diligence, you go out, you got a low truck rental, you're in the 650 range. Fine. You went out and you bought a $35,000 truck. Your note is under $1,000. Great. All right. Those are things that you can control what your fixed costs are going to be, because you made the decision either to accept a high fixed costs on your trucks, or accept high fixed costs on your insurance, things of that nature, or not accept it. But certain things are going to be beyond your control, that you never know when these things are going to change. You can't control fuel. All right. If you're running middle mile, you can't control the spot market. You can't control the rates. You can't control the economy. You can't control consumer buying behavior. These are things that are beyond your control, and the variables of the things that are the variables that play a part in the money you make that are beyond your control outweigh the few variables that you can control. And this is what I've been, preaching since day one. You have to understand what you can control versus what you can't control. And although a nice 2019, 2020, 2021 truck, pretty shiny, may be what you really want, is it really smart to go out and get a brand new or a newer truck with higher note, right? Higher insurance because it's new, and because the market is good now, is the market going to stay that way because there's other things that you have to factor in that could change that are beyond your control? Or is it smarter to go out and get something a little bit older, right, that you know is going to be cheaper, right, and your insurance is going to be cheaper? Now this is what I recommend to a novice, a person who's tenured in this industry, years in this industry. If they want to go out and buy a new truck, they can go out and buy a new truck because they're advanced in experience and they know how to go get money regardless. But I always talk about this learning curve that everyone has to go through, and I just don't think it's wise to bury yourself with high overhead and you're a novice in the industry. Because there's a bunch of costs, a bunch of things that play in the part that are going to be beyond your control that you have no idea about. And when they hit you, they're going to hit you. And right now, what's going on is hitting people. All right. So the people that are going to survive are the people who have entered. Obviously, the people who've been in the the industry for a while, obviously their costs are low. They have experienced things of that nature. But the people who've entered recently in the past, I say a year and a half, 2 years, that entered correctly, low to minimal overhead, as long as they've had that mindset entering, they're going to be able to survive this. I want everybody else to win. Take a look at your books. See what you're paying. I'm going to keep telling you this. If you are having a rough time, you have an expensive rental, you have to create a plan, create a date, and execute that plan. And then when that date comes up, if you haven't seen any results, then you got to go back to the drawing board. All right. We got a rough next, for sure, 3 months, but it's more looking like a rough next 3 to 6 months before we can forecast what the second half of 2023 is going to look like. So let's put plans together so that everyone can withstand this storm. I've been giving out great solutions. If you are in a box truck lane and you are struggling, you can still remain in logistics and still make money. You just have to go into the lane that's winning right now. All right. If you are in a exorbitant truck rental, it's even easier for you than if you're financing an expensive truck, because you can just swap that truck out for another piece of equipment, a smaller piece of equipment, i.e. a van, and go make the money there, because that's where the volume is. That's where the rates are better. You're not operating at a loss. The national spot market rate right now is below cost, and it's going to get further below cost as the next few months go by. So that's something to think about. Make the smart decision for yourself and your business. Sometimes the smart decision is a hard decision. It's a decision that you may not want to make, but it's going to make you a better businessman or businesswoman. www.boxtruckcourses.com for your one-on-one mentorship with me, Mark the Mentor. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the upcoming videos every Tuesday night here on YouTube, The Mentors Podcast with me, Mark the Mentor. I'm out.